Hello, my name is Hannah Clayton. I am a Marriage and Family Studies major here at BYU, Idaho, and have completed all but one semester of this degree online. I've been online since July of 2014, and I'm thrilled that this is my final semester at BYU, Idaho. My time here has been amazing, and this degree is one that I'm so proud to have earned. I initially chose this major because I felt that it was so applicable. I currently have an 18-month-old daughter, and I'm expecting our second in just a few months. I started as a business major, but didn't have any intentions of being a businesswoman. I switched to the Marriage and Family Studies program and immediately fell in love. I love that this degree is something that can bring me work in a field that I enjoy, but more importantly, I love the tools that I have gained to strengthen my own home and family. I had the privilege this semester to work for the Dibble Institute. They are a nonprofit organization out of the Bay Area in California that aims to provide teens with the resources they need to pursue healthy relationships, specifically those that are of a romantic nature. The Institute has developed a few research-based programs that teach the principles they have deemed as necessary to healthy relationships. Each program has a number of lessons that teaches such things as identifying red flags, setting boundaries, identifying one's own goals and values, dealing with emotions, conflict management, and communication. The image I have included here is one of their Love Notes program, in which I was able to become quite familiar with. As I was nearing the end of my degree about a year ago, I started to worry about the final requirements of an internship. I was worried how I would be able to complete this while being a stay-at-home mom. I didn't feel that I had the resources available to work outside of the home and worried about the prospect of an online internship. I had no idea how this would work or if I would even be able to find one, as I was told they were limited. I was surprised to find that this didn't have to be a daunting task at all. I browsed the Marriage and Family Studies internship page in preparation and was able to more easily understand the requirements as well as how to begin. I've included two graphics here, both of which can be found in Step 2 on the page. The map identifies potential internships that BYU Idaho students have been able to participate in past semesters. These are companies that have worked with BYU Idaho in the past, which is super helpful. Under the map is a list of companies within the map. After the company name, it identifies their location, a lot of which are listed as online. I chose a handful of the online options and did some research on the company or institution. After weeding out a few that I wasn't as interested in, I sent some resumes and emails to those I was. I quickly received a few emails back. I was surprised to find that there wasn't much of an interview process for those that were offered to me. A lot of the businesses on this list were looking for unpaid interns and welcome any help at all. I found that most of them were only looking for a few interns though, but because I had planned ahead of time, I was able to get on their list before they filled up. After corresponding with each to learn about the responsibilities and expectations, I chose the Dibble Institute. I felt drawn to what they were doing and was excited about that opportunity. I had a number of responsibilities during my internship with the Dibble Institute. Each week was a bit different, but all the projects were somewhat similar. I simply worked on a project until it was complete or until my supervisor sent something deemed as more important. At the beginning of the semester, I started by proofreading a lot of their materials. I hadn't realized previously how much effort goes into publishing things like this. Each program of theirs has a number of resources. Most have a teaching guide, a student guide, matching PowerPoints, and a number of handouts. Each of their manuals is hundreds of pages long. This meant that there were a lot of proofreading to do. As interns, we looked for mistakes and made sure wording matched between the different resources. This gave me a good opportunity to quickly become familiar with their materials as I had to read them with a fine-tooth comb. I was also able to help compile a number of contacts within different projects. In one, I created a spreadsheet with all the low-performing schools in the United States. I found government-issued documents that identified these schools and their districts, and I then found contacts within each district that the Dibble Institute could reach out to and offer their services. In a similar project, I was able to find and record contacts for troubled youth resources in each state. Another project I helped with that was of a lower priority was identifying additional resources for their programs. Each of the lessons within their programs includes discussion questions, object lessons, video clips, and music videos that helped to enhance the lesson subject. Whenever we had free time, we found different resources that were applicable to these lessons. I enjoyed this as it allowed me to use more of my creativity, but found that for that very same reason, it was harder than I expected. Looking back on my internship, I can proudly say that I was able to contribute a lot to the efforts of the Dibble Institute. Over the internship, I was able to help them a lot with their organization. The majority of my time was spent organizing contact information for different things into spreadsheets. This took hours and weeks to complete, and often with the help of other interns as well. As I previously mentioned, revising their materials was a big part of my internship. I also spent hours and hours doing this. This wasn't anything that took any specialized skill, but the extra eyes were necessary in order to become closer to publishing and teaching these materials. I also feel that my own personal experiences helped enhance their programs. The Dibble Institute aims to teach teens how to strengthen their own relationships. I was able to use my experiences from my adolescence in order to find resources to add to their material that I thought I would have benefited from. Using this perspective helped me to recognize the importance of these lessons. However, if they aren't well put together and are not relatable, then they will not be nearly as effective. The underlying theme in most of these things is my time. The Dibble Institute had multiple interns that devoted many hours of their week to completing the tasks that are necessary, but that the directors may not have time for. I feel that together we were able to make a big dent in the work here. While I feel that I was able to leave the Institute better than I found it, I also feel that I benefited at least as much, if not even more. This was the first opportunity I had to apply my degree and all that I have learned outside of my own home. Before this internship, I felt confident in my ability to strengthen my home with the tools I had been taught. However, I was much less confident in my ability to do so in a professional way. One of my favorite takeaways was how rewarding it all was. I feel strongly about marriage and family, and it was so cool to be able to do something to strengthen those of others. The desire to do more than just strengthen my own family. This internship also helped me realize a career path that I hadn't previously considered. There are a number of things you can do with this degree, and I hadn't recognized that before. This helped me realize how many more options must be out there that I've yet to realize. Finally, I was able to recognize and appreciate how much work goes into these types of programs. I took part in similar programs in high school through health classes and had never realized the work and research that goes into them. This internship related to the things I have learned here at BYU Idaho in so many ways. One class that I thought about often was Family 100. This is a course that teaches all about the proclamation and helps students identify ways in which they can share their testimonies of the family with the rest of the world. This class gave me the desire to do just this. I love my family and have a testimony of its necessity to Heavenly Father's plan, and I want to share this with others. My work at the Dibble Institute was to help teens prioritize healthy relationships and eventually families. Another class that I frequently reflected on was Family 300. It's all about marriage. It provides necessary tools in order to strengthen marriages and make them last. A lot of the principles taught in this course were very similar and in line with those identified by the Dibble Institute. I was able to recognize that these lessons need to be taught before marriage. If they aren't, we are more likely to enter into relationships and marriages without the tools to make them work, let alone thrive. If we teach adolescents these things, they can build stronger foundations that they can then build upon later. I would recommend this internship to anyone who is interested. It was a great experience. The contact that I finished up with was Rebecca Powell. She was my supervisor, and I provided her email here. On BYU Idaho's webpage, it's listed as an Aaron Larson. He started as my supervisor, but just a few weeks in, it was no longer my supervisor, and Rebecca took over. Both were great, and I had great experiences with both, but this is a more up-to-date contact than the BYU Idaho page has listed. I loved my time at the Dibble Institute, so much so that as I moved to the Bay Area in a couple months, I am thinking about reaching out to them and offering further services and to see if they're interested. I had a great experience and I learned a lot from them, and I now feel much more confident going into the workforce because of this experience that I had. Thank you.